Well, I hope you don't have any traded assets in your portfolio this morning because whatever it is probably in the red. But your home, that price, that value is going up and up and up. Well, this is from investors.com this morning. Tesla vehicle insurance registrations in China last week dropped a fraction sequentially, but now 8 weeks into the third quarter, the global giant's registrations in China this year are down slightly less than 2%. Meanwhile, Canada, of course, we know about the 100% tariff on China-made electric vehicles. I don't think that's going to impact anything significantly at all with regard to Tesla. Tesla insurance registrations in China totaled 14,200 for the week of August 19 to 25. That's down 0.7% from 14,300 the previous week. However, Tesla registrations in China, a rough gauge for deliveries, are up 30% compared to last quarter and have increased by 10.3 compared to a year ago. Tesla's year-to-date China registrations are now down 1.8 compared to the same time frame in 2023 on the year-to-date thing. While Tesla's vehicle registrations in China fell slightly last week, EV producers in China broadly saw insurance registrations increase, reversing a slow start to the month. Top Tesla competitor, BYD, had 87,800 insurance registrations compared to 78,500 the week prior. Now, anything in there that you would think would cause Tesla to be down this morning? No, I think Tesla's down this morning because the market is down. Earlier, it was actually bucking the market, but right now it seems to be going along for the ride. The article continues, try Tesla, whose delivery estimates and Tesla data tracking are highly respected. Yeah, pretty much. Among retail Tesla investors, posted to X on Sunday that sales in China compared to Q2 are great. But he says not so much for the US. It looks like Tesla is balancing out weaker US sales with stronger sales in China. Then this from Whole Mars blog this morning. Tesla FSD 12.5 on hardware 3 drives 38 minutes parking spot to parking spot completely hands-free with 0 interventions. He says, really excited. This is finally starting to roll out to everyone. Then followed that, we have from Reuters, a divided federal appeals court on Monday revived a lawsuit in which Tesla, the electric car company run by billionaire Elon Musk, challenged Louisiana's ban on direct vehicle sales to consumers. In a 2-to-1 decision, the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans reversed a lower court judge's dismissal of Tesla's constitutional due process claim, vacated her dismissal of its antitrust claim. It upheld her dismissal, however, of Tesla's equal protection claim. Tesla has sued members of the Louisiana Motor Vehicle Commission, dealership owned by individual commissioners, and the Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association. It accused various defendants of exploiting their control of the Motor Vehicle Commission to drive Tesla from the market by targeting its sales model, which does not include a network of franchise dealers. Tesla accused Louisiana officials of illegally banning direct sales in 2017 and restricting the leasing and servicing of vehicles in the state. Circuit Judge Jerry Smith wrote that Tesla sufficiently alleged that the defendants had plausible actual bias, citing emails from the commission's executive director assuring Tesla rivals that their complaints would be addressed. The dissenting judge would have upheld the dismissal of the case. He says the issue is whether a company can change the composition of a state's regulatory commission because it merely disagrees with state law, which the commission is required to enforce, she wrote, but Tesla cannot use this court as an end run around the legislative process. Do you know how many states continue to be restricting Tesla's sales because of the dealership monopoly in these states? It is shocking and probably gives us some idea of why the Midwest and some of the other states are not joining the EV revolution. Let's listen to this list. Alabama, it also bans service centers. South Carolina also bans service centers. New Mexico, same thing. West Virginia also bans galleries. Kansas also bans galleries. Kentucky, Louisiana, Texas, Wisconsin, Iowa, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Arkansas, and Connecticut all have bans on Tesla selling direct to, they can't have any dealerships. They can't have any way to sell in these states. Other states have limitations, believe it or not, on the number of dealerships that a manufacturer can own, or they have limits on the number of service centers they can have and or showrooms. And there's a bunch more states that have those kind of limitations. So this could be part of the problem for Tesla nationwide. In some states, they've gotten around it by putting their dealerships in Indian, can you still say Indian reservations? Okay, Sawyer Merritt says, the U.S. government has begun a $150 million repair and upgrade program for the 4,500 electric vehicle chargers across 20 states. Wait, the U.S. government is going to spend $150 million to repair and upgrade other people's chargers across 20 states at an average cost of $33,300 per charger. Why don't they just rip them out and put in Tesla chargers? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, all right. This is from AJ. He says, listen, contrary to popular belief, even amongst the better informed EV enthusiasts, cycling near the top of a charge, 75 to 100% of your charge. So in other words, putting in more, charging up your battery beyond 75% is detrimental to LFP graphite cells. A new study published in the Journal of Electromechanical Society finds cycling LFP cells, charging them up across a lower average SOC results in less capacity fade than cycling across a higher average SOC, regardless of the depth of the discharge. Well, there you go. That's one thing that we've all thought was better about the LFP, and maybe still is better, but it's still a good idea not to charge above 75% all the time. This is Randy Kirk, for those of you who don't know that name yet. Write it down send it to your friends, tell them to watch. That's the best thing, that is actually better. Did you know that if you would send out 3 notes to people that you know are interested in the stock market or in Tesla stock each month, would be better than sending me $3. Anyway, that's the little button right there. Hit that like button and then subscribe, hit notify. We've got Brian White again today, and you're going to like it. We're going to be talking about all kinds of fun things. And then, of course, it is Nicholas Gibbs tonight, and I think you guys are liking him better and better. The numbers of people watching that show on Tuesday night are growing and growing and growing because, yeah, he's young, but he's smart. Okay, this is in the did I mention Patreon? I mentioned it kind of anyway. The S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price NSA Index, man, covering all 9 U.S. Census divisions, reported a 5.4% annual gain for June, down from the 5.9 annual gain of the previous month. So your house price is still doing just fine, thank you. All the talk about that, I've been telling you this for how long? Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to continue to give you the rest of this report. We are now reaching the top. What, Randy? No, we're getting close to the top. Even with mortgage rates coming down, these home prices will not continue to keep going up at these levels. And the reason for that is you've reached some problems with affordability. And it's not going to be about lots more supply coming on the market, although some more supply will come on the market as mortgage rates come down and people that are stuck in lower margins will finally be able to sell. So there'll be some of that. But overall, this is one of those, Randy's rule number 1, things have gotten out there too far, and you're going to start to see housing prices flatten out. I don't think they'll come down. I don't think there's anything to suggest you need a recession or some kind of a break in the market in order for them to come down. And there's no inventory. So I don't see them coming down, but we're not going to continue to see this kind of 5-6% year-over-year gains. I don't think that's going to continue. So they say the 10-city, that was the 20-city, the 10-city composite saw an annual increase of 7.4%, down from 7.8 last month. I mean, yes, and now the 20-city. The 20-city is the one that everybody pays attention to. That's the one that had a 6.5 compared to the 6.9 last month. The S&P CoreLogic Index continues to show above trend real performance when accounting for inflation, says Brian D. Luke, the head of commodities, real and digital assets. Man, all the names at this place are like forever. Home prices and inflation continue to factor into the political agenda coming into the election season. While both housing and inflation have slowed, the gap between the two is larger than historic norms, with our national index averaging 2.8% more than the consumer price index. That's a full percentage point above the 50-year average. Before accounting for inflation, home prices have risen over 1,100% since 1974, but have slightly more than doubled 111% after accounting for inflation since 1974. Look at that. Another popular theme is making housing more affordable to first-time home buyers. They compared each of the 16 markets that the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller indices calculate on a tiered basis to evaluate historic performance of more affordable homes. Our tiered indices divided each market into 3 price tiers, which range based on the market. Looking at the last 5 years, now listen to this, 75% of the markets covered show low price tiers rising faster than the overall market, according to Luke. For example, the lower tier in the Atlanta market has risen 18% faster than the middle and higher tiers. New York's low tiers have the largest 5-year outperformance, raising 20% above the overall New York region. Wow. Conversely, San Diego has seen the largest appreciation in higher tier homes over the past year. While the overall San Diego market has risen 70% in the past 5 years, the high tiers have done even better, rising 79%. San Diego continues to be quite the outlier. My brother is very happy about that. All right, Barron's Edward Yardeni this morning. He has a longish article, which I won't read all of, suggesting that the Fed shouldn't cut. Okay, shouldn't cut. Anyway, if you follow this channel, you might think that Edward and I have been listening to the same little birdie. He says the economy is less interest rate sensitive. One reason financial crises are less likely to emerge is because the economy is less interest rate sensitive than in the past. More consumers are retiring. He's paying attention to the demographics. And they're spending their accumulated savings, and increasingly it's on services rather than goods. Yeah, while more capital is invested in high-tech equipment and software. If rising interest rates don't cause a credit crisis, the economy is likely to remain surprisingly resilient. That I'm not so sure of, because I'm more worried about that low end of the market, those people making under 100,000 a year that are not retired. We believe that the Fed has succeeded in normalizing interest rates at levels that are unlikely to cause a recession. There's no need to rush to lower interest rates rapidly, as was necessary in the past. This time, the Fed has averted the crisis phase of the credit cycle. That I do not agree with Edward about. Well, now the breaking news just before I came on air, overall consumer confidence. So we have the Consumer Confidence Index rose in August, but remained in that narrow range that has prevailed over the past 2 years, according to Dana Peterson, chief economist at the Conference Board. Consumers continued to express mixed feelings in August. Compared to July, they were more positive about business conditions, both current and future, but also more concerned about the labor market. Consumers' assessment of current labor situation, while still positive, continued to weaken, and the assessment of the labor market going forward was more pessimistic. This likely reflects the recent increase in unemployment. Consumers are also a bit less positive about future income. In August, confidence declined among consumers under 35. Those under $100,000 a year people, while it increased for those 35 and older, those making over 100,000. On a 6-month moving basis, average confidence remained the highest among young consumers. Despite the overall improvement in the headline index, confidence declined for consumers earning less. Confidence declined for consumers earning less than 25,000. Well, that group, they should have low confidence. On a 6-month moving average, consumers earning over 100,000 remained the most confident. Boy, it sounds just like what I've been saying. Confidence among consumers earning 15 to 25,000 trended down and was almost as low as those earning 15,000. Who Who owns, you know, who makes $12 an hour? Who makes $8 an hour? $15,000, earning less than 15,000. Okay. What is happening with markets now? Brace yourselves. Oh, look, things are improving, except for Tesla. All right. The Dow Jones, which was down, is now still down, but only 2184. The NASDAQ, which was down, is now actually up 10.08. S&P, which was down, is now up 3.22. Tesla, which was up, is now down, but is now moving up. It is down 454 at 208.67. Apple slightly up, Google slightly up, Amazon slightly down. So the NVIDIA is up. So yeah, things have turned around. Look at that. In just that 20 minutes, things are doing better, except for Tesla. What's wrong with Tesla this morning? There's no excuse anymore. It's now going counter to the market. All right, we've got all of the Mag 7 down, not all. PayPal is up. Square is up a little bit, and the rest are down, but not much, all in narrow ranges. Okay, let's go ahead and look at those bonds. Oh, I didn't do the percentages. I'm so sorry. Percentages are, the Dow is down 0.08, NASDAQ up 0.02, S&P up 0.04, and Tesla down 2.21. The bond market right now, bonds are probably going up. What do you think? Okay, yep. Wow, look at this. Bonds are up 3.6. The consumer confidence numbers might have impacted the market. Maybe that's what we're seeing right now. Consumer confidence numbers were a little better maybe than expected. Yeah. Housing prices up probably more than expected. These are probably hitting the market right now. Bonds up 3.8 basis points on the 10-year. We have got the 2-year also up 1.2 basis points, but the difference now, the spread is under 10 at 9, almost exactly. I mean, it is exactly 9 basis points, moving towards that break even. The 2-month only up 0.4 basis points. So that's interesting. That's maybe why Tesla and the Cathie Woods are down right now, is because the bonds are now popping up on good consumer and good if you're a homeowner, they're good, but not good for interest rates, not good for the decision of the Fed needs to make. All right, let's go on to the oil patch. We're seeing oil back down again. The Middle East issues seemingly, not as critical as maybe people thought a couple of days ago. So those are backing down. You've got Brent barely over 80 now, 80.61, and Texas Intermediate 76.52, both down about 90 cents this morning. Natural gas continues down all the way down to $1.93 now, $1.93, down 1.38% this morning. Gold hanging in there. It's down 2,552. Silver down 0.07, $29.99. It had come up above 30 just barely yesterday. Copper still staying above 4 at 4,237, is up 0.46. And then we have got the pound is doing well this morning. The euro is doing not so well this morning, and the Japanese yen is down. The dollar is down against the Japanese yen. The dollar is down, Japanese yen up. The dollar is doing well against the euro. Both of those the yen is 0.14%. So the dollar is down quite significantly against the yen, but not up very much against the euro. We have got Bitcoin heading back to 60,000, down 1,418 this morning. I don't know. I don't understand any of that. Okay. And the headline this morning is NVIDIA has become the world's most important stock, adding pressure to the earnings report tomorrow. Okay, so turning back over to Tesla again, it is moving up a little more. It's $3.87 down now. All right, remember to check out yesterday's Brian White video. It was excellent. We talked all about we talked about the reasons why Tesla was down yesterday, which might impact the reasons why it's down today. But I, of course, believe that between now and 10:10, we will definitely see a run-up as the FOMO gets stronger and evidence continues to pile up that the self-driving is this close to being 100% ready to go. All right, and then we'll have more Brian White later this morning. Of course, I'll put a card up for yesterday's Brian White. And then if you wouldn't mind contemplating, consider, think about, give a moment's consideration to the idea that maybe you could possibly do something with the Patreon, which is down below. You just go down below, click the little button by Patreon, takes you right to Patreon, and you can sign up to help support the channel. And I'd be a very happy camper if you did. It's been great talking to you.